like leaving it on the blank screen like this to make people think that we don't know what we're doing.
I was beginning to wonder.
Oh, yes, we're here.
Kind of like walking around music.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one. It doesn't give me the pump me up vibes. You know what I mean?
Like the guy in the movie walking down the street, just going, "Hey."
I mean, I think I kind of like.
Pump me up.
This is the jam right here. All right, me and Franklin here today to entertain you, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of fun things that we're going to be getting to today. These are my new glasses, by the way. Actual glasses.
You break the others?
No, these are the readers that I used to use because technically I can still see, just reading's a bitch. But I hate constantly having to take glasses on and off. So I ended up getting these bad boys. Black out. So it's normal up here, and then you got the reading lenses down below.
And magnified.
Pretty fancy, right? All right, coming up on the old program, we're gonna get to the YouTube poll reviews. Quiz Frank on that, and I was really sloppy on getting posts and the polls up this past week because then that Nutcracker just absolutely annihilated most of our time. I'll get to an update on that as well. We're going to do some Sporcle quizzes on Steve Buscemi, Looney Tunes, and then one Bill Pullman or Bill Paxton. You going to be able to do that one there, Frank?
Can you figure out who's who?
Yeah, that's. I found one quiz where I think it lists the movie, and then you have to choose whether it was Bill Pullman or Bill Paxton that was in it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to things that you didn't know about The Jerk, Jumanji, Rain Man, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Titanic. We're also going to discuss why the Star Wars sequel trilogy sucks and makes no sense.
I could go on for days.
And then we're going to talk about the hot Christmas toys of the 80s. This will be part one. Some of the toys that we're going to be covering are like He-Man, My Little Pony, Transformers. And then we're going to look up and see what those original toys are worth today. Like if they're actually worth any kind of any kind of an amount. But first, we do have to get to a Nutcracker update.
Crack your nuts.
So, we had the Nutcracker last week, and it was just brutal on the schedule, man. And then to top it all off, my kid broke her foot. So essentially what we do is there are 2 performances on Wednesday. School performances, so they're during the day, like they ship in kids from schools with school bus. We have 2 school performances on Wednesday, 2 school performances on Thursday, and then the big performances, 1 Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday. She broke her foot on Thursday, and we didn't know it was broken. My wife went to treat her. My wife being a physical therapist, just kind of taking a look at it on that Friday, and she realized, I think there's something more going on here. So she took her over to get some x-rays, and yeah, there's, broken bones, actually, I should say. She broke more than one bone. So unfortunately, she was out, man. She didn't get to perform, which really sucks because we were looking forward to some of the really good performances that she was geared up for. But she's going to be in a boot now for about 4 weeks to 6 weeks. Hopefully everything works out for her and she's able to bounce back better than ever. I did amazing.
Just speaking of it, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of, I did pretty fantastic.
I carried the family name, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm not going to completely toot my horn here, but fucking toot. No. So, did pretty good. No mistakes this year, which was nice. Oh, here you go.
Except for when he tripped his daughter and broke her foot.
I did not do that.
For the family.
Yeah. For the family. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just adjusting a little bit of audio here right now. Let me take a gander. Where are we at here? All right, let's get to some YouTube poll reviews there. Franklin, are you ready
Right
for
in
this?
the polls.
And there were some quizzes as well. Again, I wasn't completely up
We
to
love
date
you
on this.
so
I was
much.
running way behind all last week, man. Scrambling to get things together and put things up and all of that fun stuff.
Fun.
Like this one here, I don't even know why I chose one of these movies, but I just did a poll that was, you can watch one of these movies. Which one are you picking?
You're
And
in cruise control, right?
I mean, I put the 3 movies were Good Will Hunting, Beverly Hills Cop, or Back to the Future 2.
Yeah,
the
you were
reason-
on cruise control.
Well, the reason I like in my head, because I mixed up the dates, is that those movies were all released on the same day. Back to the
Oh.
Future 2 was not. Like, I don't know where my brain was when it came to that. But yeah, so that wasn't quite there. But what do you think won that poll between Good Will Hunting, Beverly Hills Cop, and Back to the Future 2?
Probably Beverly Hills Cop.
No!
Oh, Back to the Future 2 did?
Yeah, 49% of people said they want to watch
Alright.
Back to the Future 2.
Nice.
Despite the fact there was one person who commented that it was just an absolute turd of a movie.
I have like a weird suspicion in the next 15 years we're gonna get a revival of the Back to the Future trilogy from some studio because it's having like it's becoming a better trilogy than most at the moment. Like it used to be kind of top 10, now it's like in people's top 5s and 3s, and you just know some studios just gonna decide to crap all over that and make a reboot trilogy somehow.
Well, he went from 85 to 55, right? So 30
Mhm.
years.
You can't drive 55.
So, I mean, basically now it'd be like going back to 1994.
The 90s, yeah. If you did it now, but I suspect they're going to do it in like the next 10 years.
All right, next. This actually is a YouTube trivia question for you, Frank. See if you remember from last week. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was created to promote which department store? Macy's, Myron Frank, Montgomery Ward, or Nordstrom?
I'm going to go with Montgomery Ward because that sounds like it's been around forever.
Yep. Montgomery Ward, 58% of people got that one right. Remember, Rudolph was created for a coloring book that was given out back in 1939. 2.4 million copies were given out that first year.
Phew.
Next YouTube poll. Again, this one, it's not worded properly. Like, I don't know what I was doing, man. I was just mentally spent. But I put, do you remember MTV's Rockin' Jock?
Yeah.
And the options I put, yes, I loved it. Yes, but I only watched if it was on. No, I thought it was stupid. Or no, what the hell are you talking about? The one that doesn't make any sense is no, I thought it was stupid because the question was, do you remember it? How could you think it was stupid? Yeah.
Maybe they did remember it and they said, no, it was stupid.
Yeah. All right. So do you remember MTV's Rockin' Jock? What do you think won that poll? Those are your 4 options.
Well, for us, being 90s kids, I'm going to go hell yeah because we've watched it. But yeah, we'll just go with yeah.
65%
remember,
of
do they?
people said no. What the hell are you talking about? I remember they had basketball and they had
Football.
softball.
And baseball. Yeah, baseball. I think they brought football up towards the end.
See, I don't
And-
remember those ones. I do remember, I think it was Bobby Valentine at one point. He was like the manager. It was, and I remember specifically it was the homeboys and the away boys were the
Yeah.
softball teams.
Yeah.
And I remember Bobby Valentine was the manager for one of the teams, and he went to the umpire asking if this bat was legal. And it was literally just a wooden bat with a corkscrew on the end, as if it was a corked bat.
I just always enjoyed the baseball better than I did the basketball. To me, the basketball was just chaos and then just letting anything happen.
Oh,
for
just remember the
baseball.
50, what was it, the 50-point basket?
50-point
That was way the hell up there?
Yeah,
I
and
liked
then you
them
had
both.
the different circles that were like for like 10 points or
Yep.
25 points, depending on where you shot it from.
And the funny thing is you always have those guys that just take it a little bit too seriously compared to everybody else. All right, next YouTube poll. Who deserves to be in the college football playoff?
Oh, Lord.
This would obviously be teams that were on the bubble because the 4 choices are Alabama, BYU, Miami, or SMU. What do you think won the poll?
Florida State. Well, SMU got in, so I don't know how it would be SMU.
Well, no, it's just who do you think deserves to be in?
I mean, I could see BYU having a gripe because they probably should have been in their championship game, so I'll go with BYU.
No. SMU won 38% of the vote. Alabama, 34%. Miami, 15%. And BYU, 12%.
Second, Miami.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Early on, because I pretty much watch the Dan Le Batard show on YouTube while I'm kind of working in the morning. It starts at 7 a.m. my time. And Mike Ryan, diehard, Canes fan, he was pissing and moaning after those rankings came out. And the whole time I was kind of like, all right, yeah, we get it, you're a homer. But then the more that I thought about it, I'm like, he actually has a point. Like, how is Alabama ranked above Miami?
Because the SEC is so much better than every conference.
And that's always the thing, is where it's like, well, the SEC. And it's like, well, they lost to Oklahoma. That was not a good team. They lost 24-3.
Well, that was like after they didn't get picked. Some guy went on Twitter and was like, well, we should just not schedule any hard out-of-conference teams and just play, horrible directional schools. And everybody
Oklahoma's
went,
in conference.
Everybody goes... Everybody said so. Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, and whatever that third team was.
Yeah, they were all SEC losses, weren't they?
And he was like, "That's not my point. That's not my point." It's like, no, all your losses were to SEC teams, you
Good
idiot.
Lord. All right, so then after that, I put who is going to win the college football national championship. I put Oregon Ducks, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Georgia Bulldogs, and then as the fourth option, I put someone else. Comment below. What do you think won?
You didn't put Texas.
I did not put Texas.
I would have probably gone with maybe Texas until that last game. They looked horrible against Georgia. I'm going to go with Oregon. I still think Oregon's probably the better team out there.
49% of people voted for the Oregon Ducks. I don't.
So you're afraid they're going to trip up?
I just don't like. It's these games where I'm like, do I want to watch it? Because it's just going to be stress, Like, legitimately, when they were in the college football playoff, back, the one where they beat Florida State and then they lost 14. To
Ohio State. That team they had.
Yeah, in the championship against their third stringer.
Yeah.
I legitimately was on the elliptical for, like, the whole game.
It gets you that stress.
It just keeps me occupied, man. It just gives me something to do while I'm doing it. By the way, hi, Vero. I haven't said hi to you yet. I see you in the.
I'll get like the blood pumping, but it's like I don't get too wild or too crazy about that stuff. But it doesn't get me like over anxious.
All right.
I think the only time I've ever had that was back when I was in a kid, like middle school and high school. That would kind of get to me, but it doesn't bother me like that on that level. Either they win or lose, it's not going to change my life at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's just that I want him to finally get over that goddamn.
Yeah,
hump, man.
You haven't seen it. Well, that could be part of it too, because you haven't seen them do it yet.
Yeah,
I've seen my team do it 3 times in my lifetime.
See, that was always a thing with the Patriots. Later on, where it was kind of like, especially like the one against the Eagles that they lost. I was like I've watched them win 5 Super Bowls. And then, coincidentally enough, they came back the next year and they beat the Rams. So
yeah, I've been fortunate to see my pro team win 2 and my down to block college team win 3. So it's like, I'd like to see him win more, but at the same time, it's like it's not like I haven't seen him do it.
All right, final YouTube poll. What is the best Scream movie? We talked about Scream 2 last week, so the options I put there were Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3, or Scream 5, which is also just called Scream, coincidentally enough.
Is that the one with Jenna Ortega?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go with the first one.
Absolutely. It is the first one, 88% of votes. That means that everybody's wrong. Dude, Scream 2 is the best in the franchise. The first one is good. Scream 2 is the best one in the damn franchise.
I think it's just because that set the whole franchise up. People always love the first one because it's just got that place in their heart.
All right, let me get organized here. I got all my Steven Spielberg movies because we're going to get to that movie draft here in just a second. And for the third option for we're just gonna go to Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
And go to the tomato meter.
Tomato toes.
Ease with me here. It still blows my mind that Hook is rated so low.
I think people didn't want to see him grown up, and that whole I enjoyed that movie. I still do enjoy that movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I just think there were people that that grew up with the Disney cartoon version, and that's what they expected to get. Because remember, trailers back then weren't like they are now, where it's highly anticipated. Trailers were if you were in the movie theater, you might see the coming attractions and might see it there. So you probably had a bunch of people that just did not know what the movie was going to be, and then they rolled up in there, and it's just middle-aged Robin Williams fighting a kid with a skunk haircut, and Dustin Hoffman, Dustin Hoffman, who's all 5'2".
Yeah,
even though he did a great Hook.
He did a fantastic Hook, man.
And so yeah, I think that kind of just threw people off, but I enjoyed it.
I don't know if you were able to hear that on the microphone right now. Our dog's getting yelled at. She's probably peeing on something. Yeah, you can hear my wife yelling at her. Ryder's in the chat. Hello, Ryder. How are you? All right, let me see here. Here we go. All right, movie draft time. Steven Spielberg. Celebrating a birthday, December 18th, 1946. And we're going to go in order here. Frank gets to go first. I will go second. And then we're going to the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter for the third one. So, Frank, what is your first choice for the Steven Spielberg movie draft as we are trying to build the best Steven Spielberg triple feature?
I'm going to go with the one that basically turned him into the summer box office guy. I'm going to go with Jaws.
Oh, you're starting with Jaws, huh?
Starting with Jaws.
Oh, here, I gotta switch the old screen there.
Start early and work our way back.
A little bit of that. All right. I'm cool with starting with Jaws.
Ever endangering the shark population.
The shack. Oh my God, it's a shack.
It's a shack.
So that opens up old Jurassic Park for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna go to Rotten Tomatoes now. And Rotten Tomatoes gets to go back to back. So it goes number 1.
E.T.
E.T. I honestly thought that was actually going to be what you were going to go with, because it had the record for being the highest grossing movie for.
I would have saved that for like one of my later picks.
Oh.
I like it, but it's not one of my go-to movies that I have to see all the time.
You know, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of E.T.
I don't mind it. Like, even as a kid, it was great, but it's like, I think the last time I saw it was maybe 20 years ago. Or longer.
And then coming in second for Rotten Tomatoes is going to be Schindler's List.
Schindler's.
A movie that I've actually never seen.
Really?
Oddly enough.
Oh, man,
yeah, I was just thinking about that
Seinfeld.
because I was going to say, because I was just watching Seinfeld, and it was the episode where he makes out with his girlfriend at during Schindler's List. All right, so then I get to go second here. I think I got to go. I got to go with Saving Private Ryan.
All right.
Man, that opening sequence is amazing.
Probably one of the better openings to any war movie that's out there.
I still remember how in awe I was watching some of those scenes. Like, especially there's the one where I think it's Tom Hanks. He's yelling at this one guy, and then the guy's like, he says something back, and the guy rolls over. And then when
face is gone.
Yeah. He grabs the guy's shoulder and rolls back over it, and his face is gone. Yeah. It's like, oh my God. So that escalated quickly. All right, Frank, you get to go back to back, my man. What are you going with?
So my second movie will go with the fact that the main character in the movie, he basically had no effect. Like, he could have never been there, and the same result would have happened. I'm gonna go with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Classic, but yeah, old Indiana Jones. He could have not even been in the movie, and the ending would have been the same.
Yeah, I remember first kind of hearing people talking about that, and I'm like, son of a bitch, they're right. All right, and what's your third pick?
I'm gonna go with the one in the last couple years, Ready Player One.
Oh,
I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
Man, I was really close to going with that one. I'm glad somebody picked it.
I did. I know he didn't do everything that was in the book, but there's a lot of nostalgic stuff in there. There's a lot of good things that, plus, I mean, it's a decent decent story into it. But I enjoy that movie. It was on, I think, this past weekend, and I was watching it. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I got. I was flipping through the channels. I think it was on like on TNT or something, and then I was like, screw this. I don't want to watch it with commercials. So then I was able to find it on one of the streaming services.
I think I have it on Blu-ray somewhere.
Oh yeah, Frank doesn't do streaming services, folks.
Sorry.
He still does DVDs and Blu-ray.
Heck yeah.
All right, so for my last pick, see, there's two movies I'm torn between. And it's not going to be the one that's on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm going to give you Rotten Tomatoes now. That's going to be the third choice for the Rotten Tomatoes list.
All right, catch me if you can.
Again, not based on a true story, folks. The guy that was the con man in the movie conned them into believing that was his actual life. He's full of crap.
Okay. You could make a movie about that.
Yeah, you could make a movie about him conning people into making a movie about his con life.
Get on it, Spielberg.
So I have two in mind here for mine. But
Jaws
there's
2.
some other... actually, Jaws the Revenge. Amazing. Or
Yeah,
Jaws 3. Or Jaws 3D.
3D.
Don't forget Bridge of Spies.
That was a good one. A little wordy, but it was good. Him and Tom Hanks were rolling for a while there, weren't they?
You also have Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Boo, 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 boo.
More recent one here, you had Lincoln.
Boo, 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 or whatever it was. Gosh. What was the hand signs that he did?
I don't remember. Man,
something like that.
when's the last time I saw that movie? It's probably been 20 years since I've seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So I'm torn between two different movies here. One of which is Hook. But what I'm going to go with is Last Crusade.
Last Crusade. Indy. You're alive. You're alive, boy.
The dog's named Indiana. All right, so here's our triple feature. Frank has Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Ready Player One. I have Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan, and Last Crusade. And then the Rotten Tomatoes list, E.T., Schindler's List, and Catch Me If You Can. Those are our triple features of Steven Spielberg movies.
You know what I liked about that movie? They did a great job having Sean Connery as his father, but wasn't there only like a 15-year difference in like the age at that time? It would have been like a weird, weird circumstance. I think there was something like they were like kind of close in age because
Harrison Ford is 82.
So he was in his late 40s at that point, I would think, right? Mid to late 40s.
Okay, hold on. So Sean Connery's born in 1930. Harrison Ford, he was they're 12 years.
There you go. Yeah. So it was like, that's his dad, but his dad's only 12 years older than him in real life.
Yeah, Sean Connery born in 1930. Harrison Ford born in 1942.
Hey, whatever. Hollywood.
Oh, good Lord. All right, we're going to get to a quiz here, Frank. Are you ready for a quiz,
Quiz. Let's do it. I graduated from school so I could take more quizzes. Or did I?
Steve Buscemi, celebrating a birthday, December 13th, 1957. I thought I posted the damn thing. God bless it. Hold on.
You failed me.
Oops. I thought I had the link ready to go, because it's basically one of those name the
link from,
name the movies. Oops.
Encino Man.
Which, by the way, a lot of people commenting on the video that I did about Brendan Fraser being in
In the Army Now,
and also in Son-in-Law.
Son-in-Law, yeah.
A lot of people being like, oh, he was also in Biodome. He was not in Biodome. But also a lot of people overseas commenting that is Encino Man the same as California Man?
Yeah, because that's what they called it in Australia, was California Man.
Yeah. Oh, and I think pretty much everywhere.
Right, because I think it was because like nobody would know where Encino was except for like in America, and that's why they changed the name to California Man.
Yep.
So that people could understand the region that he was in.
All right, let me bring this over here.
California man, dude.
All right, are you ready for this, Frank?
Yeah, sure.
Steve Buscemi, 10 movies, 1 minute. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
What movies is he in?
You got Armageddon.
Yep.
You got Escape from L.A.
Yep.
Awesome. Reservoir Dogs, of course.
Yep.
The Big Lebowski, of course.
Yep.
Dude. Was he in... He went into Ridiculous 6. Was he in World Trade Center? I know he did one of those movies, right?
Do you want me to click it?
Yeah, let's click it.
Nope.
Nope. Damn. Things to do in Denver when you're dead?
I would assume he was in the Ridiculous 6 because it's a Sandler movie.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was thinking that, I was thinking of the Tarantino movie, the 8 or something.
Oh, The Hateful Eight? No. All right, you got 15 seconds. Let's go.
I don't know. Parting Glances?
No, he wasn't in Boogie Nights.
Parting Glances. Let's do Parting Glances.
One question, one remaining. We're not going to get it.
No, it's probably what, Paris? No, what was it?
28 Days, Paris, Je t'aime, and Domestic Disturbance.
He was in 28
Were the ones that we missed.
Oh.
Were you thinking of 28 Days Later?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, did you see the new trailer for 28 Years Later?
Exactly what. Yeah, that's exactly why. I saw that trailer for it, so I'm sitting there looking at 28 Days as if it's part of the. Yeah, that was. Damn it.
Vero says Con Air. I don't think Vero understands how the game works. Con Air wasn't an option.
But she is right. He is in Con Air.
He was in Con Air. He was great in Con Air. And you know of that theory, right? That's linked to the Sandler movies?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I was going to do that for that.
I think Con Air would have been too easy if they would have put that in there. That would have been...
Well, I mean, some of those... I mean, Big Lebowski was in there.
Yeah, but, I mean, some people that might not have seen The Big Lebowski, I think Con Air, everybody's almost seen Con Air.
That's a fantastic movie, by the way. All right, you ready, Frank?
Mm-hmm.
Things that you did not know about the movie The Jerk.
Oh, my cans.
It was released on December 14th, 1979. The budget was just $4 million, and it made $100 million at the box office. The original title was going to be Easy Money.
Let me ask you something. As you see on that poster, it says he's a poor black sharecropper's son who never dreamed he was adopted. Do you think that would make it in the world today?
I think if it's done right, it could, yeah.
I think you would have people screaming racism because like, he's not black, he's white. That's white privilege to try to say he's black.
Look, people are going to cry racism no matter what. I did the video about Larry Bird being the greatest basketball entity of all time, which first of all, people confused with player. I didn't say he was the greatest player because the fact was all about how he won Rookie of the Year, he won MVP, Finals MVP, but then afterwards also Coach of the Year and Executive of the Year. So there's people who are losing their mind about that, and then on top of that, trying to say that he is one of the best basketball entities of all time apparently makes me racist. Just saying.
You entity shamer.
All right, back to The Jerk here. The role of Marie was specifically written for Bernadette Peters. Martin and Peters met while on the Kenny Rogers celebrity softball team and were together when filming began.
She was always an attractive woman, but he was just so crazy with like how wildly entertaining she made her characters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying like it turned you off, but you just didn't almost view her as being attractive because she was just so goofy.
I think that's you just being misogynistic. That's just me. Steve Martin and Carl Reiner, they carpooled every day to the set, and Reiner said that they would come up with at least one or two jokes every day on the way. The gas station, here you go, Frank.
My cans.
Somebody hates the cans.
It's the cans.
The gas station is no more. It was located in Pasadena. It is now a Carl's Jr.
Yeah, you think something, a little one-stop little gas station would have made it after 50 years?
No. Bill Murray was actually cut from the movie.
Huh.
He played a flamboyantly gay decorator who designed a mansion.
And Steven, he was actually 70 years old in these photos, by the way.
And finally,
70 years old.
Did you know The Jerk almost landed Steve Martin the lead role in Eyes Wide Shut? Stanley Kubrick wanted to work with Martin after seeing The Jerk, and the two talked about doing a sex comedy of a novella about a doctor dealing with his wife confessing to having sexual fantasies about another man. That movie would end up becoming Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay, so it would have been different. It wouldn't actually have been Eyes Wide Shut.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been.
Because that's where my mind went.
And that's why it would have been a comedy.
Right, okay. I don't know if Steve could have pulled off that.
I don't think he could.
That whole stuff in Eyes Wide Shut. If you haven't seen it, kids, wow.
It's pretty far out there. All right, next one. Here we go. No, it's not, Frank.
Cancelled.
Things that you did not know about the movie Jumanji. It was released on December 15th, 1995. It had a budget of $65 million, and it made $262.9 million at the box office. Now, the concept for the movie actually came from a book. It was a 1981 picture book by Chris Van Allsburg.
Yeah, that whole, I remember being a kid, that book was really big at that, because it was what, maybe 30 pages, if that, and it was just, the illustrations were so big, you know, there wasn't a lot of reading going on with it. It wasn't like a crazy book.
And we all know Frank hates to read.
I hate to read a lot of words.
Bradley Pierce, who plays Peter, also voiced Chip in Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
You know, a little cup with a little chip, which, by the way, has anybody ever really explained that? Does he have a scar? Like when he goes back into being a human, is there a scar there? What's going on there?
Is he missing a quarter of his brain?
Or is it kind of like a Van Gogh thing? Is he missing part of his ear?
So the question is, did the chip happen before or while he was the cup? And so if he comes back, is he like missing is there something on his body that's
what I'm
now
saying.
not there?
Like with where the chip would be, wouldn't it be right up here on his head somewhere?
Well, I mean, maybe his arms like crossed over to be part. I don't know how the whole morphing thing went. You know, maybe it was his ass crack on his head.
Robin Williams would lie about what Jumanji actually meant. When people asked him, he would say everything from it meaning many effects in Zulu to it being an island in the Caribbean. And unfortunately, I don't have the pictures that I intended for this next fact. So just use your imagination. And finally, did you know in Jumanji, Jonathan Hyde plays both Van Pelt, the big game hunter,
right,
as well as Alan's father, Sam?
Yeah, I recognize that watching the movie.
Now,
the first time.
I would understand that most people would be like, yeah, well, no kidding. That was something that everybody picked up on. I think you'd be shocked at how many people
didn't realize that.
have not picked up on that. And also, don't forget that Jonathan Hyde was also in Richie Rich, Anaconda, and The Mummy.
Yep. I tell you that's one, when they did the remake of it, what, 2000, when was that, 16 or 17 with The Rock and all those?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you kind of wish that Robin Williams would have been still alive, because he probably would have partaken in that as like a small bit role. I like the whole thing they did where they paid homage to him, where like he had his little shelter, you know, in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one where you almost wish that he was still alive to see how he would have been with all those guys in that movie.
Would have been fantastic. All right. We're doing another Sporcle quiz here, Frank.
Sporcle.
Yosemite Sam debuted. What day was this? Let me see here.
Biscuits are burning.
He made his debut on December 16th, 1944. So I've got a Looney Tunes quiz here for you.
All right.
Can you name the Looney Tunes?
Oh, boy.
So essentially, I'm gonna do play quiz.
Okay.
You have 3 minutes on this one, so this is a lengthier one. It's gonna give you the animal or something similar, and then we have to guess what it is. Are you ready?
Guess the name, right? Yeah.
All right, here we go. Rabbit.
Yeah, that's Bugs Bunny.
Okay.
Daffy Duck.
Okay.
Porky.
Okay.
Elmer Fudd.
Okay.
The skunk was Pepe Le Pew.
Okay.
The chicken, I'm trying to remember the chicken's name. We're gonna pass on that right now.
All right.
The alien, I have his. I'm visualizing him. I can't think of his name at the moment. The Roadrunner?
No,
It was a Meep.
you're close.
Beep Beep's his name.
That's supposed to be it. I thought. It's not Beep Beep or Meep.
Do Roadrunner.
Oh my God. I believe the name is actually supposed to be Beep Beep, but you can correct me on that one if you want.
You have oh God, I can't
cat?
think of the little mouse now. No, I just saw the mouse on there, and I can't think of his little name. The little Speedy Gonzalez. You got Tasmanian Devil, Taz. I don't know why they.
How the hell do you spell Speedy Gonzalez?
I think they just do Speedy, don't they?
Oh, it was an
There you
S
go.
on the end.
We got Taz,
Okay.
and you got Tweety Bird, of course.
Okay.
Wile-E. Was it Wile-E or is it the other one? Because wasn't there 2 coyotes?
That's Wiley.
Okay.
So you got the cat, chicken, alien, and another human.
I'm spacing on all the other ones.
If you look in the chat, Vero's helping you out.
I don't have it up. You can just go ahead and put those in. I'm completely spacing on them right now. Foghorn, Leghorn. That's
There you
right.
go.
Marvin. The cat. I cannot get right now. I know he's the black and white cat, Sylvester. And the other human. Who would the other human be?
Who's celebrating? Like, who's the whole reason we're doing this?
Oh, Yosemite Sam. Okay. But see, you know what's so crazy?
Nailed it.
I never really registered him as a human.
Yosemite Sam?
For some reason, because as small as he was, and he was just like a mustache. It's like I always as a kid, just never registered as Elmer Fudd looked like a human, you know?
Yeah. Did you
Yosemite
ever see
Sam.
the original drawings of Elmer Fudd?
Yeah,
Where he had
yeah.
that, that
We talked
air
about that.
body?
You look like a bowling pin.
He did. He totally did.
His eyes were always half asleep.
He looked stoned, man.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get situated here, and let's rock and roll.
Roadrunner is named Roadrunner.
Things that you did not know about the movie Rain Man.
Walmart sucks, Ray.
It was released on December 16th, 1988. It made $354.8 million at the box office on a $25 million budget.
I got that wrong. It's Kmart sucks, Ray.
That's right. You have been getting that wrong.
I
All day
totally-
you've been
I-
getting that wrong. You butchered the hell out of
I
it.
just went because Kmart's not around anymore. I'm always going
Yeah,
with
the one that
Walmart.
we used to still have is not anymore. I think it finally closed down a couple years ago. So Dustin Hoffman, he wasn't sure the film was going to be a success, and he wanted out. Even telling Richard Dreyfuss, I'm sorry, let me backtrack here. He wanted out, so he went to director Barry Levinson to get somebody else in, and he recommended, just get Richard Dreyfuss to come do this. Hoffman ended up getting his second Best Actor Academy Award for the role.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the character of Raymond was actually based on a real-life savant named Kim Peek.
Yep.
Johnny Cass, I'm assuming coming from the short that I did about Heinz ketchup, says I now know how to tell if ketchup is actually Heinz or not. There you go. Learning something new every day, my man. Some other actors who turned down the role of Raymond include Jack Nicholson, Robert De Niro, and Mel Gibson.
All right.
And this is one of those ones that's, sometimes when you see or hear about a particular actor who was up for a role or they turned down a role, you can kind of see them in it. I can't see anybody other than Dustin Hoffman.
I mean, maybe Mel, because Mel I mean, he could probably work it, but I think his guy would have been a little too out there and not
Yeah.
as centralized as like Hoffman did. And I don't think he would have put the work in like Hoffman did to get to know the actual guy.
Now, the movie was basically shot in sequential order, kind of roughly following their actual road trip that they're on. And finally, did you know Tom Cruise wearing Ray-Bans in Rain Man boosted sales by 15%?
Yeah, I believe it.
But this is not the biggest boost that Cruise was a part of back in the 80s. Ray-Ban saw an even bigger boost when he wore the Wayfarers in Risky Business.
Have you seen the video making the rounds of when him and Hoffman were promoting Rain Man, and they're sitting there together on a couch, and Hoffman just lets out a huge fart?
Yep, absolutely.
And Tom Cruise just loses it and is just laughing his ass off.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's hilarious. If you haven't seen that, go look it up. It's a Rain Man, press interview with Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise, and Hoffman just lets her rip, dude. Oh, he just lets it rip. All right.
Now, are you staying in there, or are you getting up and leaving?
Oh, if he does that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll stick it out. I think it would be hilarious.
I think I'd have to get up and walk away, man.
Things that you did not know about Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man. Pew, 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 pew.
Released on December 17th, 2021. I remember going and seeing this in the theater with my wife and kid.
Yep. Last movie I've seen in the theater.
It had a budget of $200 million. It made almost $2 billion at the box office.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Jacob Batalon, they knew that the third Spider-Man movie was going to include the multiverse like a few years before this came to fruition.
I think everybody did.
And they started to doubt whether it was actually going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, the movie was going to be centered around a different villain. Do you know who?
The Vulture, right? Craven?
Craven the Hunter. Dude, look at that guy's abs. Jesus Christ.
So you got to remember, like, a lot of that stuff is like painted on, and it's like in 300, a lot of those guys didn't really have abs. They went in there and painted all that.
That's all I got to do is paint it? How? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Willem Dafoe.
No, he might actually have it. I'm not going to lie. He might actually have it.
Willem Dafoe, he really only wanted to be in the movie as long as it wasn't just going to be some sort of brief cameo. Right. He wanted to be in the movie and be one of the main parts of the movie. That's how he's able to commit to it.
I just saw The Northman, and he's only in there for like a tad bit, like maybe 5 minutes of the movie. So I don't know.
Interesting. When Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire meet Tom Holland's Spider-Man on the rooftop, a lot of that dialogue that's up there actually came from Andrew and Tobey's own ideas and improvisation. Still some of the best lines with these three together, where they're like, Spider-Man number 1, Spider-Man number 2, and Andrew Garfield's like, number 3.
I thought I was number 2.
No. I gotta tell you, he stole the show. Like, Andrew Garfield completely stole the movie.
You could tell he wanted it, though. After that second one that he did, that just the studio completely crapped on with the villains.
Yeah.
Like you could tell he really wanted to he wanted to redeem himself.
Where he's like, I fought a Russian guy in a rhino costume.
Yeah. He clearly wanted it. Because the first Amazing Spider-Man was good. The second one was just, I don't know what they were going for.
Also, if you do like this movie, I highly recommend, if you're not already doing this, it's something that I do. I like to go and rewatch these movies except I watch them on YouTube of audience reactions. So you're actually you're watching the scenes, and then you're getting how people reacted in real time, like when they open the portal and Andrew Garfield comes through, or they open the portal and Tobey Maguire comes through, or the one scene where MJ is falling off the building and Andrew Garfield gets to save her. Like, oh, those things are so cool.
Yeah, they redeemed his character so well.
Oh, Johnny, thank you. Appreciate it. In the YouTube chat, it says, what you guys do is awesome. Keep it up. I wish nothing but the best for you. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Make sure to like and subscribe. What do the kids say? Smash that button.
Smash that like button.
Is it weird that people say smash the like button, but smash also means sex? I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean a few things.
All right. And finally,
spoilers.
Did you know at least one person not involved in the filming of Spider-Man No Way Home knew Aunt May's fate? It was her therapist.
Ah.
She admitted that she was under oath and she couldn't tell anybody, but she had to tell someone, so she told her therapist, somebody she knew who wouldn't reveal the secret.
By the way, she just turned 60 and still amazing.
Yes. Absolutely 100%.
Smash.
All right, we got another quiz here for you, Franklin.
Oh boy, let's fail it.
Bill Paxton or Bill Pullman?
Bill Pullman. Oh baby.
This one's gonna be fun, man.
I think
I used to always get them confused.
I still do, even though one of them's dead.
Which one's dead? Paxton.
Paxton.
Right?
Yep.
I always just remember Paxton because he gets turned into that green blob in Weird Science.
Yeah. He had that botched surgery or whatever and then died from it a couple days after it.
So it's a 60-second. This is a 60-second one.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to type these in for you. And we're going to do them in order there.
Yep.
Or just tell me to skip to the next one.
No, I got
so I'm going to type Paxton or Pullman.
All right.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Titanic.
Paxton.
Paxton?
Yep.
I don't think it is. Oh, yeah, it is.
Paxton was also in Spy Kids 2, I believe.
Okay. Apollo 13.
That is Paxton.
Okay.
Weird Science is Paxton.
Okay.
Alien is Paxton.
Are they? Did they just line these up in a row? No.
That's Pullman.
Okay.
Pullman. Is that The Grudge?
Yeah.
Is that Pullman? I've never seen The Grudge. It's got to be Pullman, right?
Yeah.
Predator 2 is Paxton because he ran across all the big things.
Hurry up, you got 26 seconds.
Pullman.
Okay.
Paxton.
Okay. Nope. That's Pullman.
Pullman. Paxton is True Lies. Paxton is Twister. While You're Sleeping, Pullman. Casper, Pullman.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Ah, I got it.
Yeah, I wish they could have done a movie together. That would have been funny.
I would have blown people's minds.
Might have blown up the world.
All right. Next up.
Yeah, he's the one guy that he died to the Predator, he died to the Terminator, and he died to the aliens. He died to like the main three bad guys or the main three monsters of the 80s.
All right. This next one, I'm not even going to lie. I'm truly just essentially kind of, I'm going to be reading this from CBR, Comic Book Resource. Let me get some music. You ready? The Star Wars sequel trilogy that kicked off with The Force Awakens back on December 18th, 2015. Last Jedi came out December 15th, 2017. The Rise of Skywalker came out December 20th, 2019. So I found this article over on CBR. This is dated back on June 28th, 2021 by George Buccerat. I'll just try. Screw it.
George Pullman.
George Buccerat. So we're going to go. He's 10 things here of why this trilogy makes no sense. Number 1. We'll count down. Number 10. If Luke wanted to be left alone, why did he give R2-D2 half the map?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be going into super detail on these ones because I want to help out CBR. I mean, I don't think they need my help because they're way bigger than I am. But if you like this article, go check it out and you can actually go read into the details. And Frank, I just want your opinion on some of the stuff when we get to it.
Yeah.
Number 9, using the dagger to point to Sidious's Wayfinder on the Death Star is absurd.
Well, yeah, I don't. What was the point of that whole thing? What was the point of that whole movie?
I don't know.
What was the point of the second and the third movie?
I don't know.
Don't get me started. Don't get me talk amongst yourself.
Well, no. The whole point is we're getting you started.
No, I know. God, I could go off. I could tell you about that second movie and how me and my friend walked out of it going, "What the fuck was that?"
If Force ghosts can still use the Force in the physical world, why aren't they helping more?
Yeah, why? Yeah, that threw me off when he catches the friggin' thing, and you're like, he's a ghost. What? Why is he catching shit?
Yep.
Or why is he showing up 30 years younger, half a light year away from the planet he's on, losing to emo, frickin' Darth Vader?
The Holdo maneuver breaks space battles.
Yep. Yeah, I know that's like the biggest gripe, that should have never happened, and I agree. That was pretty. Because why not? Why can't you just do that in every battle you're in now? Just send a spaceship high speed and just destroy everything.
Yep.
What's the point of even using lasers?
Yeah, and it even puts in here. It's like, why not just do that? You know, get some droid controlled ships and just run them into all the other ships. Just crash them.
Or fly it straight at the Death Star.
Chasing the Resistance fleet made no tactical sense.
Exactly. Yep. Plus the way you ever notice like the when they were shooting at them, it's like arching. It's like, how is it arching in space? How is the lasers arching in space to shoot at the rebels? Like, wouldn't it just be going straight at it?
Yeah.
Because it's a flat space. It's not a round space.
And this is kind of the point right here is that if they were following them, why wouldn't they just call in a couple of Star Destroyers to light speed just slightly ahead?
In front of them? Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
The Knights of Ren simply forgot they could use the Force.
That, and they were no part. They were like hyped up in the first movie, and then they were flashbacks, and that was it. It was nothing there.
I believe the comic book does them a little bit of justice, though. They're actually, and that's where I've gotten into reading the Star Wars comic books, because they were actually, you know, following storylines and made sense. Which, by the way, I haven't seen Skeleton Crew yet. I think I might be completely tapped out on Star Wars stuff, man.
I think there was one. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I think at one point there was like a Disney Plus series that they were going to do the Knights of Ren, like explaining where they came from and how they became. But I don't know if that's happening anymore. But yeah, what a disservice to that group.
Their best bet is going to be to completely ignore these trilogies and act like, and you can keep the characters obviously, but act like they're not canon. You have to. They're just garbage. Rey's parents shouldn't have been able to escape Exegol.
Well, the whole story with her parents was just stupid. The first movie sets it up to where you can make it Luke, or you can make her a descendant of Obi-Wan, or whoever you want. And you have a story preset, and then you just kind of... You have the second movie where emo Vader goes, they were just idiots and nobody cares for him.
He's slamming his lightsaber. Oh, dude, Snoke. Oh, what the hell was that?
And then the third one, by the way, your grandfather was the Emperor, and your family, you know, he had kids, and they had you, and you're a Palpatine.
Can you imagine him just like having sex? Something semen. It is said that shields don't work within a planet's atmosphere, even though they do. Number 2, Palpatine wants Rey to kill him so he can take over her body, but doesn't do it when it happens.
Yeah. Maybe it was because he was a clone and he was defective.
Who knows?
I don't. And I love how like they're trying to like save that whole story in the Mandalorian series, where they started getting into the like cloning aspect of that. But it's like, let's just not even worry about it anymore. There's no way to save that. Just let's move away from that.
And finally here from CBR.com, Anakin could have just told Luke where to find his Sith Wayfinder.
Yeah, it's like, do they have like a certain amount of time they can use their Force Ghost, or is it like a battery? They just run out of power and stop showing up, or?
By the way,
it's never explained.
I am glad that it's showing this picture of Anakin Skywalker, because I've had showing up on social media here about how that created a whole loophole where you have old Obi-Wan and Yoda, and then you have a young Anakin. There's a way around where it's
disservice to the actor.
Well, it was a disservice to the guy who originally played Vader, but the way that I always saw it and the way that they've kind of portrayed it is that Anakin Skywalker technically died when he became Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So that would be what he looked like when he did die. I mean, that was that. I mean, I shouldn't have to make up stuff like this for a franchise that I love, but
But even then, in Revenge of the Sith, like, they did not help that cause by him just going, okay, yes, Anakin's dead, I'm now Vader. Like, they could have done something a little, like, they could have had, like, him falling out of a window and needing to be, like hitting his head or needing to be saved or some, just by having him go, yes, Anakin's dead. I mean, okay.
No, but see, I like that in the Obi-Wan series. When in the big battle,
I have issues with that series.
And Obi-Wan's just beating the piss out of him with the lightsaber, and it busts open his helmet, and he admits, he's like, you didn't kill Obi-Wan, or you didn't kill Anakin.
Right.
I did. But, and that is something that I did always kind of believe a little bit, was the fact that it wasn't when he was Darth Vader, he no longer was Anakin Skywalker.
I thought that fight scene was awesome. It was great. But the thing that I don't like about that series was the way Sith ends and the New Hope begins. It's like that 16-year, 17, whatever year period, and you were kind of left to believe that Obi-Wan just went there, sat in a desert, and just chilled. Now, of course, you had comics and whatever where he did other things, but then that series comes along, and again, like, he's not supposed, like, Leia's not supposed to know really who he is, the way it's done in Hope. Like, she's like, you worked with my father, please,
Yep.
And he's not supposed to have seen Vader. Vader thinks he's dead because he hadn't seen it. But then that series comes along, and he's riding around the universe with Leia, and she's somehow going to forget who he was 8 years later, and then, Vader just, oh yeah, I fought him, but he didn't die. But I know he's probably dead now. And it's just I didn't like the loopholes that created in that series with the New Hope and what came after.
You know who I blame?
Catherine Kennedy.
Yes, 100%. Kathleen Kennedy, dude, she butchered the shit out of the Star Wars entire franchise.
Yeah, they just created so many loopholes with all this new stuff. It's not, and then you didn't have to.
Yeah. No,
It
it
could-
could have been done properly, and it's like, I can't tell if they got lazy or if they overthought it, because I think it felt like at points they were like, we don't want to do things that the fans can't anticipate, or we have to throw them a curveball, or like, but then we also have to include all these other things that people enjoy. It was like, we got to.
Well, I think with the sequels that came out recently, I think Abrams had an idea of what he wanted, but then they went to the other director, and he was just like, screw it, and brought in his own story. Which, that's fine. If you want to do your own story, then do your own trilogy somewhere. But don't. It was basically a new movie inside the trilogy, and it was just the whole thing was screwed up. And you guys could have just. If you guys would have talked it out, you could have made a story that flowed so much better. But instead, you have J.J. Abrams' story, and then you have him going, screw J.J., I got my own. And then J.J. has to try to take all that bullcrap from both movies and form something out of it in the third one, and it just became a huger pile of bullcrap.
He's taking all this horse pucky out there.
Anyway, Catherine Kennedy.
All right, things you didn't know about the movie Titanic. It was released on December 19th, 1997. The budget, which was a lot for back then, $200 million, but it certainly paid off. $2.264 billion at the box office.
Remember when before it came out, like, Hollywood was saying it was going to be a bomb and it was going to be worse than Waterworld as far as the money?
Well, because I think anything that had a super high budget at that time, it was believed there was just kind of a waste.
It was Waterworld.
But you want to, but if you wanted to generally, have a big budget, the guy you're going to want to get in is James Cameron. Now, did you know Titanic won? Oh, hold on here. I think it was 10 Oscars.
Titanic?
Yeah, hold on. I gotta.
Did Celine Dion?
I want to
win
isolate.
for
I'm gonna
her-
isolate this one out as a short, and I gotta make sure I have my information right. I think I have a typo.
To typo.
Oh no, it was 11. Okay, cool. All right, let's reset. Did you know Titanic won 11 Oscars, but none for acting?
Yeah. I mean, I could see that.
Yeah. 87-year-old Gloria Stewart, who plays Old Rose, was considered to be a lock for Best Supporting Actress, but she ended up losing to Kim Basinger for LA Confidential.
That was a great movie.
Kate Winslet was nominated for Best Actress, but she lost out to Helen Hunt for As Good as It Gets, and Leo, not even nominated.
Okay, I will say probably should have won it instead of Helen Hunt. As Good as It Gets is a good movie, but I don't know if Helen Hunt was Oscar worthy.
Well, and it does seem weird because if they had won those two, then it would have put them at 13 Academy Awards. Yeah. Who are some of the other ones that they're up against here? So you had Best Actor, Best Leading Actor, Jack Nicholson, As Good as It Gets. Best Leading Actress, As Good as It Gets, Helen Hunt. Matt Damon was also nominated for Good Will Hunting that year.
Yeah.
Robin Williams won for Good Will Hunting.
Right.
Yeah, this is where they had, it was kind of all the same movies in all the categories. It was Good Will Hunting, As Good as It Gets, LA Confidential.
That was a good year.
Titanic. Yeah, that was a really good year. And Boogie Nights was in there too.
Yep.
Julianne Moore, was Best Supporting Actress.
Remember, that was the one everybody
Nominated.
thought that Burt Reynolds was going to get his Oscar for that role, and he thought he had won it. And then, because if you watch when they win, or when Robin Williams, because they put the camera on all of them, like Burt Reynolds has this look on his face like, mother, like he's pissed.
Like as upset as he was with Mark Summers when they were on Jay Leno? Or on, was it Jay Leno or Conan?
No, it was Leno. That was
Leno?
Yeah.
All right, back to Titanic here. Leonardo DiCaprio almost turned down the role. James Cameron explained it as this. His character doesn't go through torment, and Leo previously and subsequently in his career was always looking for that dark cloud. It became my job to convince him that it was a challenge to do what Gregory Peck and Jimmy Stewart did in previous generations, to stand there and be strong and hold the audience's eye without seeming to do very much. Only when I convinced him that was actually the harder thing to do that he got excited. The water
in his career.
The water in the tank that they're at here, it was actually pretty warm.
Because everybody was peeing in it.
80 degrees is what it was set at, and all the frigid breath, that was all added later.
Right.
In a scene where Jack takes Rose's hand, the camera was actually picking up all of the hairs on Winslet's arm, so they had to shave her arms.
Is she Italian?
I don't know. No, I think she's English, isn't she?
Got Italian in there somewhere. Mediterranean.
And no, Jack did not have to die. Mythbusters proved that they could have both survived on the door. And when they presented this to James Cameron, he was like, "Yeah, whatever. The movie would have made 1/10 what it did if Jack lives." He's got a point.
Yeah. Okay.
And finally, did you know Leonardo DiCaprio's famous "I'm the King of the World" line from Titanic was made up on the spot? They were losing light for filming, so Cameron just told him the line and to extend his arms out while he said it. DiCaprio's response to Cameron's instructions: "What?"
What?
And that are things. That are things? Those are things?
That are things.
Jesus Christ, Brandon. That's stuff you didn't know. Good God.
I just remember that like year from when it came out to when it came out on VHS. Yeah, VHS kids, and DVD. Like the girls in my school, that junior, it was the second half of junior year because it came out like in the spring or summer of '97, and going into my senior year, the girls were just captivated and would do nothing but talk about that movie. It drove the guys nuts. Like, they were just over it.
All right, we're running a bit behind, so I'm actually going to put a pin in the Christmas toy stuff because I want to tackle this a little bit differently. So essentially, what we're going to be doing is I have the top toys, and we're going to do this in chunks. So I have the top toys. 1981, it was He-Man. 1982 was My Little Pony. 1983 was Cabbage Patch Kids. So we're going to go through the hot toys from specific years for Christmas. And then we're going to see kind of what those go for now, if they're up on eBay. Also, quick side note here. We are going to have to adjust some streams because Christmas and New Year's Day both land on a holiday. So I think what we're going to do is we will be on a regular time and date and everything coming up next Wednesday on the 18th. But then after that, we'll go Monday for those following weeks. So we'll be on the 23rd and we'll be on the 30th. So that we can get that stuff done. I'm not going to go 2 weeks without live streaming. So we're going to make sure we get that stuff done. So one more time, regular date and time next week, Wednesday the 18th. And then we're going to be on Monday the 23rd and Monday the 30th, each time at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Follow my social medias just in case if you don't if you don't remember that or you aren't quite sure. All right, Frank.
Boop, boop, boop.
All right, here we go. Another movie draft time.
Movie draft.
Movie draft time, and coincidentally enough, this is one that we've already done. I totally forgot we'd already done this one. As Frank and I were prepping today, I realized, I think we've already done this actor, but it's Brad Pitt, ladies and gentlemen.
Doing it again.
He was born on December 18th, 1963, so we're going to do another Brad Pitt movie draft. And the way that's going to work here is Frank will go first, I'll go second, and then the old Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter will go third. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to create the best triple feature of movies with Brad Pitt. Doesn't have to be the star. He just has to be in the movie. So, Frank, you get to go first, my man.
I'll start off with 7.
Ooh.
We'll take that one right off the board because I'm sure that's high up on the Rotten Tomato meter. So let's deal with the Rotten Tomato guy.
You know what? Actually, we'll go through the tomato meter too. We can kind of go through that list. If I can get what I'm doing here.
You get what you're getting.
Word up, yo. All right. So Frank is going with 7. Well, then my first one. You know what I'm going with, Frank?
Fight Club.
Yep. You are correct, sir.
You are correct, sir.
And oddly enough, as I take a peek over at the old tomato meter, what do you think his highest rated movie is on Rotten Tomatoes?
7 Years in Tibet.
No, but it does start with a number.
7.
No.
12.
12 Years
Was
a
he in?
Slave.
Yeah, so he was in that, right?
Right there, Brad Pitt.
Because I know he produced it too.
All right, well, they get Brad Pitt, and then what do you think? Oops, I just wrote Brad Pitt. What do you think the second movie is over on the old tomato meter?
Snatch?
No.
Ocean's 11.
No.
Moneyball. Good movie.
But I am glad that you just brought up Snatch, because that's my second pick.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Here we go. And considering the fact that Frank and I both totally forgot that we've already done Brad Pitt, I'm going to go back and look at what our original draft was. See how that works out. All right, but you get to go back to back here. Frank, what are you going with, my man?
Yes, I was trying to remember what I did or didn't pick.
There's one movie that reminded me that we had done this before.
Well, I'm just gonna go with Interview with the Vampire for the first one. And Yeah, see, I remember like 2 of them that I picked last time, so I'm gonna stay away from that. I'm gonna go, and this is kind of like a hit or miss with me, but I kind of dig it from time to time. I'm gonna go with Troy.
I honestly didn't think anybody was going to pick that one, so I don't have that, but all right.
It's like the fun. Yeah, I got him. But so here's the funny thing about that movie is like his accent is so funny because like sometimes he's going with like where he has like an English sounding accent, and then other times he's just Brad Pitt. Like he just realized the accent sucked.
He doesn't
and he
go
was just
into
doing
like
himself.
Pikey or anything from Snatch, does he? Like you're right in the middle of it.
No, like there's just scenes where you can tell he's definitely trying to use like some sort of like Keanu Reeves in his vampire movie, where there's like at times like he's trying to do an accent, but he even realizes like it's just not working. And so there's scenes where he's got a little bit of an accent, and then there's other scenes where it's just Brad Pitt, where he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna say the words.
I'm phoning this in.
It's not happening. So I've always found that intriguing about that movie.
You know,
how they just went along with it.
I really want to go back and rewatch the original movie draft that we did for Brad Pitt because I want to know how this conversation went. Because if I remember correctly, I think I was down to the same 2 movies here, and I think I picked the same one. But for my third one, I'm going with Spy Game.
Yeah, you did. I remember you picking Spy Game.
Oh, dude, that is it. I mean, it's super underrated.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I randomly, I was hanging out at a buddy's house. We were just like, just hanging out drinking. This was like over 20 years ago. And he was like, have you ever seen Spy Game? And I was like, nah, because it didn't really seem like a movie that I would like. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
Go watch Spy Game.
Redford holds his own in that movie. He does great.
And then back to the old tomato meter. I mean, I guess it's technically a Brad Pitt movie. I'll skip to the one where he has a bigger role because the one that it's choosing is right here.
True Romance.
Which is good, but he's got a very minimal part in it.
Right.
So I'll go to the next one where he does have a decent part. Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards.
All right, so our Brad Pitt triple feature movie draft. Frank has 7. Interview with the Vampire and Troy. I have Fight Club, Snatch, and Spy Game, which I think might be the exact same 3 that I chose
Probably
last time.
might be.
I think it is.
It might be.
You know what? I can look that up real quick. Shoot. No, I can't. Actually, I can. Hold on here.
I know one of us picked Cool World last time, but I can't remember.
You did. You picked Cool
me.
World. You did.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Brad Pitt.
That's the hornier Roger Rabbit.
Did I not upload it?
Oh, it uploaded.
I guess I didn't. Yeah, I've got all the other ones on there, but for some reason, I guess I didn't post. Huh. Oh, well. This might have been before I was posting all of this stuff. But yeah, so here's how so where do you think, which one did you say? You thought 7 would have been ranked high?
On the tomato meter.
It's actually 12th out of all his movies.
Wow.
So really quickly here, the order of his movies, it goes 12 Years a Slave, Moneyball, True Romance, and Inglourious Bastards. Coming in at number 5, it's The Big Short.
That's more of an ensemble, but yeah, I get by that. That's a great movie.
Well, it's just whether or not he's in the movie, that's it.
Right.
And then next up, 12 Monkeys.
Right.
Yeah, see, like even this one here, like this one's coming in at number 7 because it's basing it on the tomato meter. Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, basically his like introduction.
Yeah. Coming in at number 8 was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right.
Coming in at number 9 was The Tree of Life. Coming in at number 10, I was hoping to get to this one because you can see that this is not an English poster.
That was one that was on like Netflix or Apple, right?
I gotta find one that's got good like high res, and it was the only one that I could find that had a decent picture.
Zuden Starning.
And then after that, it goes Ocean's 11, 7, A River Runs Through It, Fight Club, and then Burn After Reading is number 15. What do you think his worst rated movie is?
Ooh, probably one of the Oceans.
Cool World.
Well, yeah, I could see that too, though. Yeah.
And oddly enough, Really quick here. Let me try and find it.
That was definitely like a '90s movie. Like if you watch it, like just the whole style of it and everything was great '90s movie.
Bullet Train is a 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. Comes in, it's the 37th ranked movie. Troy is just above it. And then there's the movie that you chose last time.
The Mexican.
That's a good movie, man.
It is. I enjoy that movie. That's a good one. I think because it's like a comedy drama.
It's good.
That people. Yeah, I think that's why it gets dogged a little bit.
All right. Well, on that note, that is going to wrap it up for our live stream here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And we'll be back again. Let me go through the schedule one more time for you. Regular time and date coming up next Wednesday, the 18th. Then we're going to move to Mondays for a couple of weeks, where it's going to be the 23rd and the 30th. Both start times at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure that you guys are checking out all my social medias. It's at The Real Brandalorian, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok as well if you want to check that out. Different videos, posts, the YouTube polls, all that stuff going up. On that note, have yourselves a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, and we'll be around in 1 week. See you.